Buenos días, estudiantes. This is Señora Travalla, and I am here today to talk to you about the irregular verbs in the preterite, which I like to call the remix group. We've already learned about AR, ER, and IR irregular preterite verbs. We've also learned about ear and ser, and those special car, gar, zar verbs, the ones that are irregular in the yo form. But today we're going to look at a new group where both the stem and the ending are irregular. Now, I'm going to go through a number of verbs here in the preterite tense, and these verbs all have the same endings. That's why we teach them together, and we call them the remix group. They have the same endings, and none of the endings have an accent mark. But they all have an irregular stem or root. So I'm going to go through this group today with you, and we'll start out with the first verb, which is the verb saber, which means to know. And if you take off the ER, you're left with the root SAB, but it's an irregular root and it goes to SUP. So the mnemonic that I have for this one is I knew him, so I said sup. Kind of play on the words like what's up, right? I knew him, so I said sup. And that verb is in the yo form, supe, supiste, él supo, nosotros supimos, and ellos supieran. So notice here for the first time that the E in the yo form, iste, o, imos, y eran. It's similar to the preterite endings, but not exactly the same, and we're going to see how some things are a little bit different. Let's go to the next verb, which is tener, which means to have, and the mnemonic is I had a tuve. Notice how it doesn't say I have, it's the past tense. I had, past tense, a tuve, play on the word tooth, right? Yo tuve, tú tuviste, él tuvo, nosotros tuvimos, ellos tuvieran. Next verb is the verb querer, which means to want. And the mnemonic for that one is I wanted a Hershey's Kiss. Yo quise, tú quisiste, él quiso, nosotros quisimos, ellos quisieran. Notice that I do put the vosotros form in on the slide so that you are familiar with it, but we won't be using it in our teachings. Next verb is the verb poder, to be able to, which is can in English, like I can do something, I'm able to do something. And the mnemonic for that is I was able to make pudding. P-U-D is the stem on that one. So yo pude, tú pudiste, él pudo, nosotros pudimos, ellos pudieran. Next verb up is the verb venir, which means to come. And the mnemonic for that verb is my cousin Vinny came to the party. Past tense. It's already happened. And the stem on that is VIN. So you would say yo vine, tú viniste, él vino, nosotros venimos, ellos vinieran. Followed by the verb decir, which means to tell or to say. And the mnemonic for that one is I told the DJ to play my song. DJ being a play on the word DJ. It's not actually said DJ in Spanish. It sounds more like this. Yo dije, tú dijiste, él dijo, nosotros dijimos, ellos dijeran. Notice how I have a little asterisk there in the ellos form. It's because I took the I out of the ending. So normally the ending is I-E-R-O-N in this remix group, and this one just is an irregular in that form only because it's not dijeran, it's dijeran. So they take that extra syllable out there, and that's the I dropping out. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, we're going to go on to the next verb, which is hacer, which means to do or to make. And that's where you would say, the food made me have hiccups, right? So this is a verb, it's a go verb in the present tense, right? You know, when you say I do my homework, yo hago mi tarea. But here it's not irregular in the yo form. It's going to say regular. In this group, it's going to follow the pattern. So it's hice, hiciste. And then here in the el, ella, usted form, notice how I have a bold Z in there and not a C. The C changes to a Z to keep in line with the phonics. So if there was a C there, it would sound like ico, which doesn't really sound like the other verbs. But with the Z there, you say hizo. So now it kind of flows in with the other verbs. So again, this is an irregular within the irregulars. I know it's mind-blowing, but you need to keep that in mind when spelling and when speaking. So here I'm going to speak the whole chart for you, and you'll hear how it flows. Yo hice, tú hiciste, él hizo, nosotros hicimos, ellos hicieran. Okay, next verb up is poner, which is to put. I put the pussycat on the couch. The stem here is pus, so it's yo puse, tú pusiste, él puso, nosotros pusimos, ellos pusieran. Followed by the verb andar. You know, in Spanish, when you hear people say, ándale, ándale, they're telling you, go, go, go. They're commanding you to go. But in here, it also means to walk. So our mnemonic says, I walked through the Anduves mountains, kind of play on the Andes mountains. Yo anduve, tú anduviste, él anduvo, nosotros anduvimos, ellos anduvieran. Next one is the verb estar, which means to be. And it's a play on the word estúpido in Spanish, right? You say, I was estúpido when I didn't study Spanish. Past tense was, because you're not stupid anymore. You're studying it now, and that's making you smart. So past tense was estuve. Yo estuve, tú estuviste, él estuvo, nosotros estuvimos, ellos estuvieran. Okay, so there's the estuve. And this is just a summary of it all. These are the endings for the remix group. E, iste, o, imos, ieran, except for those two irregulars, where the C changes to a Z for hacer, and the I gets dropped out for dijeran. There's no other irregulars in this group. They follow the same endings. Now, don't be confused, because some of the verbs, like estar, ends in an AR. And yes, the nosotros form is estuvimos, IMOS. Poner ends in an ER, and it still has the same endings. It's not IO in the alea form, it's just O, no accent. Same with saber. It's an ER verb, or venir is an IR verb. They all have the same endings no matter what the last two letters are in this group. That's why I like to call it the remix group. They're kind of all remixed together. They all have an irregular stem, and they all follow this pattern of these endings. Okay, guys, I hope this lesson was helpful, and I'll see you later. Adios.